Hello, welcome back guys. Today we're playing more Student Transfer. And it is part 13 of Student Transfer, I believe. And we're gonna continue the Cassie, with the switching body with Cassie. In the scenario route, so you have to go back to load. We do quick save, so there it is. We're gonna click now. Oh. Cassie, now in my body. Fearfully grab my shirt upon hearing her new voice. Elizabeth, on the other hand, hop in place with a smile on her face. Okay, so the last episode, Elizabeth gets back to her body. Okay, we're gonna start from the beginning. Okay, so basically we switch Elizabeth's and Cassie's body, but then we accidentally switch John with Elizabeth in Cassie's body. Now John's in Cassie's body, but on the last episode, Elizabeth got back to her own body. You guys need to watch part 12 for that. So yeah, let's continue. I'm a woman again. What a bliss! Being back to my cramped body and a hard-working body. Ooh. Oh my god, my sweet voice, my marvelous chest, my long and silky hair, all gone. Okay, Cassie, don't talk like you're the one who lose more things right now. Well, you probably do, but let's just forget about that. I'm, I'm a boy! No shit, Sherlock's. And a pretty decent looking one. I've been told by a reliable source that I'm a solid 6 at least. A solid 6, huh? Cool, cool. Cassie looked down on my body and did a small lap before looking back at me. Well, I'll admit that with proper hygiene and the right outfit, you'd probably have a decent shot in higher league. Oh wait, Elizabeth, you're back to yourself. Yay! Hooray! Cassie and Elizabeth wasted no time in celebrating that one of them had gone back to normal. They held each other's hand and began jumping with joy like a pair of 6 years old. Couldn't they save that for when they're both fixed? She's making me look ridiculous jumping like that. Thank God no one else in here. I faked a cough which came out higher pitched than I expected, to draw the ladies' attention back to me. As you can tell, that was the body switch feature you already know. So it only takes pressing that piece of tin button to exchange people's body? My hands, my face, my clothes. Ah, it's such a blessing to be back. I'd very much like to go back to being a woman too, John. Please, your body feels so... She blushed before she was able to finish her sentence. Unconventional from a woman's. Well, of course, that's a voice. Just as Cassie finished her sentence, a sudden epiphany manifested in my mind. She's right. I've dragged 2 girls against their will into my body, and one of them is still in it, and she's still in that initial shock and embarrassment. Well, I mean, yeah, it's natural to feel like that. You're in a bulkier, masculine body now. I examined my body in detail, trying to come up with any kind of soothing comment I could. Comparing it to yours, you're taller now. Well, let me see. Oh yeah, Cassie does actually look kinda taller in John's body now. But Cassie, don't worry about it. You just wear heels. Just wear some heels. In decent shape, but not as athletic as I'd like. And given how delicate and curvaceous your figure is, you're probably stronger too. But I like my delicate and curvaceous body. Plus, you should be feeling lighter around the chest now that you don't have your great burdens anymore. John, John, don't do any such a thing. Hey, careful with that. You don't know what it feels like to be separate from a pair like that. Well, I will never know about that because I never. I actually do. I've also technically been separate from my own pair too. What? Cassie struck a shocked expression I didn't even know my face was able to pull off. That only means... Oh god, I've said too much. Ugh, don't even mention that. Lord, Casey's gone red like a tomato. Isn't she exaggerating a bit though? Don't be so dramatic. What's wrong with having... Just hurry and... okay, come on. Stop with the pooping stuff. You know what? Forget it. I'll do it myself. Huh? Wait! Cassie took a step forward all of a sudden and grabbed the device, but I managed to tighten my grip just in time before she took it out of my hands. Cassie, stop! Let it go! You'll screw this up even more! I've seen you doing it and it looks pretty easy to do it. So give it to me and you'll have your silly body back. Cassie, John, stop fighting right now! No, you let go of the device so I can... Oh, what's happened? Oh, we get to see Jane again. The Return of Jane. The constant struggle between both parts caused my finger to slip and press a different button that wasn't the switch setting. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Right after I pressed the button, Elizabeth and I watched in astonishment as the masculine feature of my body were slowly gaining a more curvaceous and delicate shape, drastically changing the relief of the hips, waist, shoulders, and thighs. For every inch my body shrank, it was compensated 3 or 4 times in hair length, growing at an impossible speed from the top of my head and cascading all the way down my back and framing my face with 2 locks on each side, one on each side. The clothes were so being affected, they looked as if being melted and reconstructed different place so they could match the new shape that would be wearing them. Finally, the changes were beginning to settle down, allowing Elizabeth and I a better look at the feminine figure that had just been crafted from my very own body. Yay! The Return of Jane! Oh my! Whoa. Okay, I don't know what the hell was that, but I'm positive it wasn't a body swap since I'm still looking at myself. You're technically right, although you're not me anymore either. Then who am I? Cassie stopped mid-sentence and struck a concerned look with her gorgeous new face. The way I looked as a woman was amazingly dashing. The remark had successfully turned the 6 I've been labeled before upside down into 9? Why do I sound like a woman again? Because you are one now. But I don't recognize who you've turned into, Cassie. She's supposed to be a female version of me, or rather, my body. That's what I've become now? A female John? How? Among other functions, the device can also change a person's gender with a different button, which is the one I seems to have mistakenly pressed. You make a very cute and dazzling lady, I must admit, John. Impressive figure and curves too. I was mildly annoyed by the fact my female counterpart was much hotter than my normal self, but I took Elizabeth's word as a compliment nonetheless. Thanks, I guess? Really, Elizabeth? Is he that pretty? Indeed. It's a pity John doesn't have a full-length mirror in his room, otherwise you could see it for yourself. Who needs a mirror when you can see yourself from a different eyes, right John? Oh! I would change my body back to normal first, Cassie. You'll probably get jealous of my stunning looks. Oh, is that some kind of challenge? Ah, don't make me laugh. You don't stand a chance against the alluring Cassandra Wright. If she wasn't this arrogant and self-centered, I would probably be a lot more interested in her. She's got a rocking body after all. John? Yes, Elizabeth? Out of curiosity, what else can the remote do? I couldn't help but notice it has a handful of more buttons. Elizabeth's question took Cassie and I by surprise, since she looked at her mate too. Elizabeth, don't give him ideas. Sorry, I just got curious again. You don't always get to see these kind of things, after all. In fact, I thought you would be more interested in this than me. You're usually the one who's more willing to inquire among the two of us. I would be if I wasn't being treated like a test subject. Sorry, Cassie, but you are a test subject for now. So one of them did take the interest. The perfect excuse to extend this showcase even further. I don't think that's a good idea, John. The battery could run out, right? It says when you get the remote. It has a limited amount of battery, so I probably wouldn't use it, since you already use a multiple body swap and you also changed your gender, so that's probably gonna drain a lot of the battery. I'm glad you asked, Elizabeth. It has indeed some other functions. Such as... Are you kidding me? Ignoring Cassie's complaints, I hovered my thumb over the cloning button and raised it towards Elizabeth. Her face was quickly covered in fright. John, why are you pointing the device at me now? Don't tell me you're turning me into a man. I wouldn't do that. In fact, I'm not going to alter your shapes in any way. I'll just be borrowing it. I pressed the particular button for the first time. Process of elimination ensuring I had chosen correctly. Borrow, as in switching. Nope, and it's not me who's borrowing it, but Cassie. You'll see what I mean in a second. Can you please focus for a second and stop fooling around with... Oh. And Cassie's shape began to change once more as I pushed the same button once again. Transformation that was taking place was a bit less dramatic this time, given that this only shifted her from one womanly shape to another, the latter of which was surprisingly similar at that. A few centimeters were being added to her height, and her clothes seemed to tear apart almost effortlessly while it happened. At the same time, some subtle changes were taking place around the bus, but more importantly, ones were happening with her facial features and hairstyle. Okay. So does John still have enough battery to like reverse everything? Like, you need to change Cassie like 2 times into your normal body and then switch body again. So this is getting me worried, man. The pair of leggings were rapidly fusing into a long skirt, followed by the sweatshirt that was now stretching over in front of my body. The remaining spare parts of clothing crawl up my body's back and combine into each other to form a bun was supposedly to firmly pull together the long and now darkened head. Now what the hell did you... Oh wait, I know this voice and this body. You switched me and Elizabeth again? No, you didn't. Cassie turned around and froze with a surprise when she saw that Elizabeth was still in her body. It actually feels more like a mirror now than before. I'm Elizabeth's twin now. I mean, you can't put it like that. With a clone function, you can now have yourself two mates for the modest price of one. Isn't that a great deal or what? The cricket. Crick. Cassie knows that. Dot 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 dot. Their silent, cool, and powerful was crushing for my now failed attempt to keep the playful atmosphere that had gradually been building up. Oh, crowd, huh? Tough crowd, huh? Luckily, Elizabeth's shy smile cut the growing tension seconds later. Well, an extra pair of hands would come in handy every now and then. That actually reminds me of when we tried employing two mates before you came. Sadly, it just didn't work. Their work styles clashed too much against each other, and we had to fire them when one day a literal battle broke out in the ballroom. She's got a ballroom? How big is her home? Dishes, dusters, and brooms flying in all directions. A pretty fun event to witness even if my mother was furious. Oh man, I wish I could see that fight. Oh my, that explains the several spots on the ceiling. Speaking of fun, Cassie turned towards me with a disgust look on her face. Haven't you had enough already? Come on, Cassie, don't tell me you're not blown away by this. Damn, I'm running out of option here. Not to mention, I've already tried all of the functions. Oh really? Don't you still have the mind switch or mind transfer thing? The copy memory thing? Thingy. Actually, no. I haven't tried the memory transfer one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If I switch some of my memories with Cassie now, she might finally give in and get hooked like Elizabeth. What the heck? No, don't do that to Cassie. Even though she was rude to us on the last episode, I do not want you to do that to Cassie, okay? Furthermore, I would have successfully gone through all the device functions. I'd be killing two birds with one stone. Don't do it. Fine, let me show you one last magic trick that doesn't involve shape shifting or body swapping at all, and I'll turn us back to normal. But what memories should I exchange with her? I know I should play it safe and keep things simple, but that wouldn't have much of an impact on either of us. The only magic trick I want is to get back to my beloved body. Now! John, are you even listening to me? Oh, I got it. I formulated the instruction as I moved my thumb to the memory transfers button. Swap our memories of last night from 2 hours before going to sleep. John, answer me. I hate it when people... I aimed the device at myself and pressed down on the memory transfer button. When that was set, I then redirected the device towards Casey and pressed down once more. Okay. I was overwhelmed with nausea as the device transferred our memories. Actually, the sensation was quite similar to what I had felt when I had copied her memories of her meeting with Polly. This time, however, the memories were surprisingly more vivid and were hardly distinguishable from my own thoughts. What is this feeling? I'm not drowsy or anything, but something feels out of my place with my mind. The analysis of my new memories was interrupted by Cassie, who began noticing the effect of the memory transfer. However, it seems as though she didn't fully understand what just took place. Cassie, are you feeling well? I feel well, but I can't help thinking something within me has changed. To make things worse, I couldn't tell you what's actually different. It's very frustrating. Cassie, I know what you're experiencing right now. Trust me, this will all make sense if you concentrate on what you did last night. Come again? Just humor me. Tell me what you were doing after you finished with dinner. I was curiously to see if the device was as efficient as the instruction had described it in regard to this particular function. Although I already could tell it was probably flawless since I couldn't remember what I had done last night. Well, I sat down for dinner around 8, I believe. Ate my usual Wednesday Caesar salad along with a slice of apple pie. Then I went upstairs to my room, told Natsumi she couldn't play Dang Souls, then met Holly in the hallway when I went to the bathroom. Pretty sure that memory transfer works, so nice. Afterwards, I kept playing until mom knocked on my door and told me to turn everything off and go to bed. Why? How does that? Elizabeth's face contorted with confusion, with Cassie had a look of pure horror. Clearly from the implications of what she described sinking in. Looks like it worked astonishingly well. My amazement didn't differ much from the girls. I couldn't actually remember if that all really took place since our memory were exchanged. However, her version of events was also all too similar to how my nights usually go down. These aren't my memories. These sound like yours. I'm positive, but I'm also pretty sure that's what I must have done yesterday. My memories of different nights are intact and highly differ from that one. What have you done to me? It's pretty useful, though admittedly frightening. Function called memory transfer. So you stole my memories from last night? Yep, and I replaced them with my own. I'm just as bubble as you, believe me. Does this mean Cassie's memories are lost forever? Oh, don't worry, they're safe and sound in my head. I only transferred our respective memories of last night. I didn't tamper with anything else. Prove it then. Yeah, smart Les. If you really do possess my memories right now, then you should know all too well what I was doing last night, right? So enlighten me then. I'm all ears. Okay, fair enough. You'll even get to hear it from Cassie's own mouth, so listen carefully. As I thought to recall Cassie's action from the last night before, I was overwhelmed with image of her luxurious home abruptly flashing through my mind like lightning. I knew she was from an affluent family, but this display of wealth were criminal. She lived in an absolutely lavish mansion, filled with mazes of immaculate rooms, exquisite paintings, and even antique statues. I had to take a moment to collect myself from probably one of the most enviable visions to have ever crossed my eyes before I could delve any further into her memories. Thankfully, it did not take very long for me to find the memories that I was searching for. After dinner, she went upstairs and headed to her room. She spent some time searching for a missing hat, which she managed to find and show to Elizabeth afterwards. That is correct. You were joyous when you came to show me, Cass. So I finally found my designer certificate khaki beret. Hooray! And she went to the bathroom. No, don't get any farther. Don't get any farther, John. The blushing on my face was betraying my serious expression as I remember how Cassie had undressed in there. I thanked the heavens that I didn't have a penis at the moment, because the situation would have become unsustainable. Took off her clothes, had a bath in the tub, brushed her hair, and put on her pajamas. Then she finally went to her bed and a shiver ran down my body and emphasized between my legs as the image of Cassie masturbating on her bed materialized in my mind. Oh my god, did she really did that? What? The brief flashes of joy and ecstasy, even purely in memory form, were very different compared to any sensation I could recall from my body. The battle against any arousing sensation had considerably intensified after going through those memories, but I went to Wang not to display any sign of it in front of this body's original owner, for obvious reasons. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. I wanted to stay truthful to my speech, but that one detail proved to be the only exception to the rule. Yeah, I mean, she probably wouldn't like that either, so yeah, I bet you better keep quiet, man. Fell asleep moments after. That's it. Are you entirely sure that's what I did? Your face says you're clearly hiding something important. Cassie, do you really want to know what you did? I can confirm that what he's saying is true, Cassie. He must be feeling embarrassed because he got to see you naked. That's all. Yes, that's definitely it. Oh my god! You had it all planned from the beginning, hadn't you? You sneaky pervert! How far can you find a horny teenage boy go to see some boobs? It's not like you can't access millions of them from your computer. Cut that pervert crap, Cassie. How would I have guessed you shower at night? The mood was turning tense once again among the three of us, and the fastest way to cool it down I could see was to end the device goofing around once and for all. You know what? Let me just reveal all of this and get everything and everyone back to normal. Hold on a second. Just as I was searching for the reverse button with my thumb, Cassandra came closer to me and frowned while staring daggers at me. You think I don't know what you were doing? That you could get away with it? What are you talking about? I'm saying that the reason Holly got upset with me can be pinned down on you. You other jerk, do you realize what you've done to me? To us? She's right. My goodness, John. What was going through your head when you first switched our bodies? Just like time to face the consequences. Here it comes. I sighed before answering honesty. Something they deserve by then. Sadly, yes, that was technically my fault. You're a gigantic asshole. Do you have any idea how miserable you made me feel? Flashes of Cassie's memory were still bouncing inside my head, along with her angst and my own feeling of regret for putting them through that. I do, even if you don't believe me. Cassandra strengthened her gaze even more. Now answers Elizabeth's questions. I always knew that if I ever revealed my role in these shenanigans, they would eventually ask me about that, and since I had already resolved telling them the full truth, I wasn't backing down now. I hadn't considered you as the source of our swap until now, but given that I know the truth now, I kind of think I have an idea. But I want to hear it coming from your mouth. No, wait, that's actually my mouth. You're using... That's actually your... sorry. No, wait, that's actually my mouth you're using. Go back into your body and answer from there. I don't want to have a discussion with myself. Look, let me just say my piece first already. You and your man treated me improperly in my own house back when we met at the kitchen. I'm not a vengeful kind of person, and it would have probably not have really bugged me under any other circumstances. But well, since I conveniently had this alien device in my hand, I hadn't really used it yet. I decided to play a small prank on you two. Cassie opened her eyes in astonishment, and Elizabeth's face quickly took on a look of strong disdain. A prank, just a mere prank. Are you being serious right now? A prank which unfortunately got out of my hands. So I'm sorry for your discussion with Holly. I really should have swapped you back earlier when I still could and save us all these awkward explanations. And what about the rest? The rest. Yes, the rest of my torment. Do you know how scared and nervous I was the whole time? How horrible it feels to have your body taken from you? Cassie raised her eyebrows in Casey's rare Casey raised her borrowed voice, not eyebrows, sorry, in anger. Well, you fighting with Holly wasn't part of my plan, unlike everything that happened prior to that, which considering my own situation I don't believe was that trauma inducing. But just you, Cassie, sorry for getting you caught up in this, Elizabeth. I thought back then you were only just being timid in front of your employer. You didn't hesitate when switching me, though. So keep your word to yourself, John. And I'm working on it. You decide that I deserve that much punishment for my perfectly accurate commentary? Okay, Cassie, stop that. Stop that shit, Cassie. Again, this spiral beyond my intentions, but you're not really condemning this with those kinds of words. I wasn't going to risk catching that awful smell or carrying on myself. Justified or not, Cassie's attitude was wearing away at my sense of guilt and the idea that she didn't see anything wrong with what kicked this all off irritated me. I wasn't planning on hugging you if that's what you were concerned about. It was kind of out of the equation with that attitude. Are you like this to everyone you meet for the first time after a long day? No, I only act like that when someone is a threat to my personal space and hygiene. Seriously, I wonder how Elizabeth and Holly and the rest of your friends and family deal with you. For your information, Mr. Scunsmell, I'm loved by them and have plenty of friends, probably even more than you. Cassie looked triggered by my last sentence and was now on the verge of yelling at the top of her lungs. John, Elizabeth interrupted our conversation with constant expression on her face. How did you find this artifact? Who made it? And why is it in your hands now? I'll tell you if you want, but it would be in the old-fashioned way. Not sure you'd want a more direct memory of it in your mind. Probably a Ritz, right, Casey? Excuse me, but I personally think getting back into my body first is more important than another absurd explanation. What a pity, because I just decided that you're staying in my body until I finish. There wasn't really a good reason for that decision, aside from annoying her, but at the moment that was good enough for me. Oh, you're the worst, John Davis. I asked both ladies to sit on my bed and get comfortable before I start. The next 5 minutes passed as if had been giving an Ellen Device 101 class to Cassandra and Elizabeth. We were having some difficult understand what I was saying was real. I omitted the specifics of the abduction and simplified it to more general extraterrestrial origins. Otherwise, the explanation would have taken considerably longer and I knew I wouldn't be able to cope with that much embarrassment. Luckily, I managed to stay focused on my speech despite having to talk as someone else. Even towards my own body, it was like something out of an original nightmare about presenting at school. But I thought I had said enough. I stopped talking and the room went silent once again. Oh, that was quiet. Educational. I was about to say it sounded like delirium only a fugitive from a psychiatric hospital could come up with. But given that, it would be a good explanation to what has been going on for the past hour. Educational fits better. Trust me, I wouldn't be able to come up with such a loony story like this, not in a million years. Yoko, on the other hand, could probably imagine a similar backstory within the hours she were asked to, and Kiyoshi in maybe even less. I'm no match against their creativity minds. So, any questions? Just one. Go ahead. Can we please switch back? I'd rather get back to my body before hearing another outlandish speech in my own voice. Sure, stay right where you are. I begin by first reversing the clone shape of Elizabeth in Cassie's, which would bring back the feminine version of my body. The change reverted as if I had pressed a rewind button. First, the clothing melted and altered in fabric, and then reshaping and remodeling of the whole figure followed in its wake to fill all the rest. After losing a couple of inches and getting similar proportion to Cassie's body, my amazingly good-looking gender band form appear once again. Okay, first step complete. Huh, I thought you said you were swapping us back. I first need to undo all the changes to my body, turning me back to a man comes next. Well, hurry up then, I don't have all day, you know. I can't speed up this transformation. How would I even do that? I don't know, press the buttons harder or keep it pressed until changes are done. Not taking the risk right now, and definitely not with my own body. Now, step 2. Immediately after I pressed the gender band button, the female feature of my figure quickly started to vanish as more fast, masculine, and rough shapes began to take place. The boobs disappeared almost instantly, the thigh and hips narrowed and lost their curvaceous shapes. The long curvy hair was quickly sucked back into the back of the head, and that outfit adapted around the new figure just quickly enough so I wasn't cross-dressing. Finally, the face profile resembled John Davis again, finishing off along with everything else. Perfect. Now for the final step. I aimed the device at her and pressed the swap button. First you, then me. But when I pointed at myself with it and pressed the button afterwards, nothing happened. Uh-oh. Oh no, it ran out of battery, didn't it? I flipping knew it. Wrong button. I pressed it again and I was still in Cassie's body. No odd sensation, no floating, the air, nothing. So, what are you waiting for? I'm trying, Cassie, but for some reason, it doesn't work. This is not the time for jokes, John. I've been holding off the urge to kick you for some time now, as I'd be damaging my own delicate and pretty figure. And I'm not kicking myself in this body. Want me to help, Cassie? May I suggest a kick in the private part just as you to switch back? No, no, no. Elizabeth? No! Absolutely not. I kept pressing the button a couple more times, but it just kept throwing the same result. Upon further analysis, I focused my view in that what I believe was the battery injector. No, 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 no! An indicator which now display a red tiny flash where a green one used to be not too long ago. Please tell me there's some more juice left. I gulped as I feared the last thing I wanted to happen was actually taking place right there. Cassie. My voice trembled just as I was about to give her the bad news. Whoa, what? My face is so pale. Wait, why am I having a terrible premonition? Dawn? I'm afraid we're stuck like this. Elizabeth gasped in the dead silence, like if she was keeping all the air available to herself. But Cassie remained mute, a blank expression on her bored face. What did I freaking tell you about? This is not a joke, the device ran out of juice. Heavens above, it can do that? What? It's my first time using it, I assume it would take longer for the power to run out. I'm sorry. We're stuck like this? Forever? Sandra quivered in my body like the powerless and frightened girl she was inside. Jesus, no! Calm down. It's until the battery fully recharges. Phew, that's better. For a second there, I thought we were such in a bigger, much trouble. How long does it take to recharge then? 10? 20 minutes? 30? An hour tops, perhaps? I don't know. If you leave it to cool down overnight, it might completely recharge by tomorrow morning. The instruction didn't specify an exact period of time. Okay, John, if there's ever a moment where I fully endorse you telling jokes, this is the time. Please tell me that was one of them. I swiftly thought of something to say that would often soften the bad news. Look on the bright side, unlike earlier, I'll never put off swapping you back ever again. There's no way I'm spending the night as my best friend's brother, so you better find a way to give me my body back. Now! But it didn't seem to work as I intended. I would if I could. You think I ended up stranded as a spoiled rich girl was in my plans for today? Elizabeth, check my agenda and see if there's any spare slots for murdering John. On Friday morning, you have the college classes from 9 to 12, and piano lessons from 2 to 4. Is 12:30 okay? Come on, how was I supposed to know we would ever reach this point? You're an idiot, John. It's your responsibility. Look, I know I screwed up, but I want to change back as much as you do, so why don't you help me think of a solution instead of yelling at me? It's quite complicated, you know. Neither my body nor Elizabeth can stay here with Holly being as pissed as she is right now. What other options should we consider? I've got it. Perhaps now that we know the origin of the swap, I could try talking things out with her. We get to know about the switch, we make up, we all sleep here, and we swap back by tomorrow morning. It's flawless, just like everything I do. Cassie. Sorry to burst your bubble, Cassie, but I see some issues in that course of action. You'd better make some good points if you dare question the steadiness of my plan. You expect us to convince my sister, who is currently mad at the three of us, with a crazy ass story about the body switching device. I don't think Holly mad at John's body though. I raise up my hand and wave the device in front of her. Wouldn't work as proof because its battery is drained. Well, that can be counted as a minor drawback in presenting the device to her. Why not replace the batteries? What does it use? Double A's? Triple A's? I can get us whatever we need to make that piece of tin work. Right, Elizabeth? The house is stocked up on spare batteries of all types, including 2 sets of fully functional automobile batteries. That's good to know, but its power source is probably some material yet unknown to mankind, and I highly doubt some AAA batteries should fill in for it. Okay? And now that I think about it, I've been carrying this thing for some time now, and I still haven't noticed any slots or opening. Cassie's frustrations was once more on display on my body's face. It was strange to see myself pouting so cartoonishly. Gosh, fine, it sounds better in my head. Well, your head, or is it my head because it's actually my mind inside you? This is confusing. Elizabeth's face brightened up for a second before she derived her words towards the both of us. May I suggest something, everyone? I believe I may have figured out a reasonable solution. Sure, Elizabeth, let's hear it. Elizabeth, I knew I could count on you. Just like I had agreed on Cassie before, why didn't you pretend you're each other until tomorrow? Spend the night in your current body's houses and meet up by morning. Perfect, just I expected from Elizabeth. I thought you said reasonable. Elizabeth's idea seems like the most logical course of action that had been proposed. So far, everything else had either been discarded or was overcomplicated. Well, can't Cassie and John's body come to Cassie's house? It actually sounds like a good plan to me. We leave as each other for the rest of the day and go back to normal first thing tomorrow morning, easy peasy. Of course, this is a good plan for you. You're already picturing yourself on the bed doing something proven with my body, aren't you? It was already quite challenging moving around with this sensation this body kept giving me. And Cassie words weren't helping at all. Of course not. God, why is everyone against me today? Cassie, please don't discard this so quickly. Remember how I'm always taking you into being a little more programmatic. Well, this looks like the perfect chance. Cassie backed up and sat down on my bed reluctantly with a mix of sadness and despair all across her face. Hey, I'm also trying to be as practical as possible here. It almost looked like when we pretend being in charge a while ago. Besides, it only feels like a few hours when you take sleeping into considerations. But this is a boy's body. It's completely different. How do I even act like one? Hence the almost. And you, John. Elizabeth turned to me and slowly approached until our faces were almost touching. Yes, my friend and employer's body is the temple, and I am its guardian. If we are going to do this, I will make sure you not disrespect Casey's figure in any way possible. Am I understood? Understood, but only if she promised to do the same. She will. The memory I had from Cassie's previous night was still faintly in the back of my mind, but I didn't really have any room to complain. I can't believe this. It's really happening. Are you sure you can't make the device thingy work, like plugging it into the power outlet? Trust me, it wouldn't be wise to experiment with the only artifact that's capable of turning us back to normal while we're like this. Ah, fine. If there isn't any other option, I'll do it. But it'll be kind of hard to act like John Davis since I don't know anything about you. And the same goes for me. We should leave some notes with instruction as useful tips, don't you think? I'm afraid that just a few notes wouldn't be enough to cover my complex and sophisticated persona. But it should be enough to make it overnight. Sure, like it's so hard being you. But before Cassie's anger manifested into words, Elizabeth jumped in and cut off the talk. So John, Cassie, do we have an agreement? Yes. As I sealed the deal, I looked Cassie in my eyes, and waited for her to answer my own. Yes. Very well then. Let's get it sorted out. One part at a time. We exchanged some basic information regarding each other's personalities, activities, and some useful tips to safely make it through the night. In order to keep the fragile truths that had been established between us, I kept any comments to myself. So yeah, you can read that, right, guys? Just in case my mic didn't pick that up. While I was done with my part rather quickly, Cassie took her time to describe every piece of information she was willing to give with an unnecessary amount of detail, all questionable relevance. I was given permission to ask her maid whatever I needed to know regarding Cassie's nightly agenda, but she wouldn't be keen on giving me any answers on very personal questions. Okay. We also established some points of our agreements before setting off to Cassie's home. I would take the device with me, we wouldn't talk about it with anyone besides Elizabeth, and no body exploration that isn't entirely necessary was allowed. After some rehearsal of our temporary persona, we finally exchanged numbers to stay in touch in case something unexpected happened, and took our respective cell phones with us. We left my room and shared some last words before our departure. Elizabeth and I were taking it fairly well, at least compared to the annoyance that could be felt radiating of Cassie. So, any last thing I should know about Cassie, right? There are millions of things one should know to ace of a person. Sorry. There are millions of things one should know to ace a performance as me, but you should do just fine with the basic information I gave you. although I could go off if needed. It's not like I don't enjoy talking about my spectacular self. You call 3 complete notebook sheets basic info. If I recall anything else I consider of vital importance, I'll text you, but give my phone to Elizabeth. That dress doesn't have any pockets. I randomly pat the waist and legs of this body, confirming Cassie's comments. That's very impractical, you know. Where are you supposed to keep your stuff when you go out? I either use a purse or my excellent, always helpful, is multi-asking supermate. Elizabeth gave a heart-melting smile, an expression so sweet that it was so hard not to feel fuzzy seeing it. Don't exaggerate it, Cassie, or you'll make me blush. I'm just doing my job, after all. But looking now at my new body one more time, I couldn't help but focus on the round mountains that hung from my chest, thought of how long it would take me to get acquainted with carrying a pair of breasts everywhere I went assault at me as I stopped my hands from reaching up to them. And no, I prohibit you from storing anything in my rack. If that's what you're thinking, that's very unladylike. I knew I would have probably thought of that option eventually, but Cassie was one step ahead of me, as she always was when things had even the potential of being decent. Despite treating me like a pervert, she didn't seem far from having the mind on herself. I wasn't thinking about that, I swear! I am sorry to interrupt you guys, but it's getting late and I still have to prepare dinner. Lucky bastard, Turgis salmon, lettuce, and avocado salad is my favorite. You'll change your mind in flash when you taste my mom's meal. No offense, Elizabeth, I don't know how you cook, but I highly doubt anyone can beat my mother's home-cooked dishes. None taken, don't worry. You're right. I'll finally get to try the famous Mr. Davis food that Holly so often talks about. You think you'll be able to handle this, John? I must admit this is quite a challenge for me, but there is yet to be an adversity that the amazing Cassie Wright can't overcome. She'll never leave aside her pride for even a second, will she? At least not for anyone that isn't already her personal mate. And don't try anything with Holly, just ignore her the same way she'll ignore you. You'll see what I'm talking about later. I heard you the first time, I'm not dumb. Eat, brush your teeth, only talk to my mother if she talks first. Okay, that's good enough for me, and don't worry about your life, it's in good hands. Of course it's in good hands. Elizabeth's hands, to be precise. John already said he'll cooperate with me, Cassie. Relax and focus on being John. That's the 6th time you said that. I got it the first time. It's fine, it's fine. Oh, why did I read? It's fine 2 times. And John, you focus on being Cassandra Wright. I want that body and name in the same condition tomorrow morning as it was when you got it. Spotless. Will do, miss. You'll be surprised to see how much of a gentleman John Davis can be, contrary to your beliefs. Good luck being a gentleman with those curves and you sexy bombshell. What the heck? Afterward, Elizabeth warmly hugged Cassie for a few seconds before saying goodbye. Alright then, until tomorrow, John. See you tomorrow, Elizabeth. And Cassie. Of all the times I had heard Cassie called someone by her name, that must have been the most unpleasant one. I guess it's my turn, right? Better give a convincing goodbye. A convincing goodbye, huh? What kind of a convincing goodbye, though? Let's just try it then. Ciao, John! Okay, that doesn't even sound like... okay, probably... and that sound like Cassie. Cassie does say just ciao, right? I surprised myself on how natural that had come out. I turned around and started heading towards the staircase. Not nearly as cute as mine. Suddenly went down the staircase with Elizabeth behind me to avoid further questions or ones from Cassie. Elizabeth. Yes, Cassie. I noticed neither of my mother nor Holly were at the ground floor, and used the opportunity to clarify some quick questions. That's what I was about to ask you. Do we really have to play the rules even if there's no one around? That's what we agreed. Yes, at least do it until we get to Cassie's home. Okay, I can do that. So where do I live then? By the memories we exchanged, I suppose her home is quite fancy and roomy, right? Indeed, the right mansion is substantially large estate, considering the main building, garden, and other amenities. And it's not that far by foot, but given how late it is, we'll use a cab service. A mansion? How wealthy she is? Exactly. I mean, I guess she is the kind of the rich that has a personal maid follow her when she visits a friend's house in the suburbs. Okay then, let me just see if there's a cap's phone number on the top fridge magnets. Just before I took a step towards the kitchen, Elizabeth had already pulled out her phone from one of her front pockets. It's okay, that wouldn't be necessary. I'll call the one we used to come here. It shouldn't take long to arrive. Then I'll grab some change from my wallet. How much do you think? I was still in the teenager without a job mindset. Despite everything, eventually Elizabeth was not. Oh, this is an exclusive monthly charge transportations service we use daily at the board. Don't worry about the money. Okay? Exclusive service. Where are we being picked up by a helicopter? No, that is restricted to emergency use only. And I believe the heliport is going under maintenance. She said that so calmly that I honestly can't tell if she's messing with me or not right now. Pretty sure she's not. Pretty sure she's not. Alright, your cab service will do that. While Elizabeth walked away for a minute to make a phone call, I was left wandering in the living room with my own thoughts. Let me see. Switch bodies with my sister's best friend. Check. Unintentionally cause an agreement between them. Check. Getting stranded as her. Also check. The world's widest to-do list has been complete. Good work, John. I sure did quite a number this afternoon. Was it really worth it in the end? Watching the show Cassie and Elizabeth put on while swap was certainly entertaining, as Cassie's reaction were priceless back in my room. However, there are plenty of not so nice things waiting on the other end of the scale. Oh, Cassandra. No, not Cassandra. Sandra, sorry. Oh, Cassie. Down here again. My thoughts were interrupted when a kind, familiar voice coming from behind made me turn around. Sorry, Mom. I was just talking to myself. Mom? My mother's surprise quickly made me realize I had been caught off guard. Sorry, I meant to say Sandra. Haha, how clumsy of me. Oh wait, did he blushing? She giggled naively as I started to correct my words. It's fine, Cassie. I find it cute when children's friends call me mom or aunt, although the latter is already taken. Thanks for taking it like that, Mom. I've gotta be more careful from now on. I guess I'll do it more often then. Okay, Cassie, the cab is on its way. Should be here in 5 minutes or less. Oh, hello again, Mrs. Davis. Cab, aren't you two staying for dinner? I'm afraid not. Sandra, something important came up and it would be better if you left so soon. Or if you left soon, sorry. Oh, well, that's a pity. I was planning on having a taco Thursday night. I'll have to remove the spare dishes from the table then. And where is Holly in all of this? She should at least be saying goodbye to her friends. How inconsiderate of her. Actually, Sandra, I didn't want to screw things up further, even less with Holly involved, so I took a little risk and made an attempt to justify her absence. We kinda held the agreement with Holly earlier. Nothing too serious, but it would be better if we just went home. She'll probably not want to talk to us for a little while. My mother sighed with an air of frustration. I caught a glimpse of Elizabeth's smile, which I read as a sign of approval. I guess it was inevitable. It eventually happens in the most of friendships, even in the ones with the strongest bonds. It's a boys' issue, isn't it? I suddenly recalled that chat that the girls and my mother previously had in the kitchen, and since I quickly realized I couldn't come up with any clever response to deflect, and I had no choice but to play it safe. Yes. Agreeing with my mother seems like the best course to take, but I was genuinely clueless on how to carry the conversation forward. I knew it. My hunches are really rarely wrong. Rarely wrong. When a boy gets between two, or in this case 3 friends, it often doesn't end well. Am I seriously having a boys' talk with my mother? Yeah, but it's something silly, really. Nothing can be solved by talking things through with Holly. So it's only between my daughter and you, given that Elizabeth looks better already? Oh yes, Mr. Davis. They marvelously helped me get over it, and they likely like to solve theirs with a little time apart. I see. I know I shouldn't put my nose into your business anymore, but I could see in Holly's face that she needed some time with her friends. The last thing she needed is a fight with one of them. We'll make up soon, Sandra. Leave it to me. But don't say anything to her, just in case. Her worried expression was slowly being replaced by a more relieved one. My impression of my sister's best friend was turning out better than I had expected. Although it was probably because these words were really also describing what I was really aiming to achieve with my own relationship with Holly as her brother. I hope you two make up soon, Cassie. Heck, I know you will. But it's better sooner than later. Fights like this can leave permanent ones in a girl's heart if not treated quickly. Don't worry, Sandra. We got this. I looked away for a second as if I was remembering something. We sure had ours, Yuna. We sure had ours, Yuna. Didn't we? Wait. Wait. So, hold on. Did Sandra and Yuna fight over a guy? Oh my god, don't tell me John and Yui are actually half siblings. Don't tell me that. Come on. Don't tell me John and Yui actually have the same dad. What a plot twist there. Oh my god. Sorry, Sandra, were you saying something? Oh, nothing important. I was just remembering some long past things with my own friends. A car's honking was heard from the street, and I knew I had been saved by the bell or the horn in this case. Looks like our ride home has arrived, Elizabeth. Indeed, Cassie. We'll have to continue our conversation another time, Mrs. Davis. Sorry. It's fine, girls. Thanks for coming. It was nice talking to you. I'm happy to see Holly has such a thoughtful and concerned friend like you. Even in tough times like this. It's always a pleasure, Mrs. Davis. See you soon, Ma. Sandra! Have a safe trip home, girls. Okay, we walked out of the house and closed the front door before starting the trip back to Cassie's. Once outside, we saw the large vehicle that resembled something very similar to a limo waiting for us parked in the street. Exclusive service, huh? More like mafia exclusive. Look at the size. Look at the size of it, man. I wish we can see the car. I saw what you did back there. Oh, what exactly? Taking the blame for the fight and easing your mother worries about Cassie and me. Ah, that. It was nothing, really. I just thought about what I would do if something similar happened to me with a friend of mine. I don't know if that's what Casey would have done, though. You guessed right. You seem like a good kid, John. Kid, come on. I'm an 18-year-old senior. Fine, a good guy then. One with pretty twisted and perverse sense of humor. But apparently good nonetheless. Elizabeth turned around and walked towards the luxurious cab, leaving me with a strange mix of feelings. Thanks, I think? Okay. I followed the maid steps and got into the car. The driver set a course for Casey's mansion, and before long, we were on our way to the high society part of the city. Despite having a lot of questions about what I was getting myself into, both Elizabeth and I remained silent on our way to the city's top-class neighborhood. I figured it was the best if I just kept quiet and saved my questions for later. After around 10 minutes, most of the buildings and shops in our sites had already been replaced by larger, fancier houses, some of them with lawns bigger than the school sports field. Even the street lights and sidewalks started to match the building styles. However, my attention would come back to my body every time the vehicle hit a bump on the road, causing my torso to lung forward by the weight of Casey's breast, only to be held by the safety belt that across this body's chest. Finally, the car pulled over by the gate of the humongous mansions that now rose before us, and the strangest car trip I had ever experienced so far was done. When I stepped out of the car, Elizabeth was already approaching the driver's seat from the other side. Would you kindly charge this ride to Wright family? Will do, miss. Have a nice evening, you two. Once our transportation was gone, we both started walking down the stone tile entrance. By the look on your face, I presume you don't usually frequent this part of the city. I was too baffled by the view to give straight answer to Elizabeth. The Mansion Gardens itself could fit my home at least twice, sorry. Look at the size of this place. Who do you have to kill for a castle like this? Is it even possible to get this rich? This is what the home of the Dolsby All CEO looks like. You mean Cassie's family owns one of the biggest toy store chains in the country? Her father, actually. Holy damn, I bet Cassie sure didn't get bored during her childhood. Shall we head inside? We shouldn't be meeting anyone else for the rest of the evening, since there aren't any more staff here other than me today, and Cassie's parents are both out for the night. Sure, after you, Elizabeth. They usually just walk behind Elizabeth. Oh, John, stop hiding behind Elizabeth. Come on, John. I followed the maid's quick step towards the main door. I had a big idea on what to expect thanks to Cassie's memory, but I also knew that actually being there would have completely different impact. Welcome to the Wright residence, John. And that is the end of episode 13 of Student Transfer. If you guys want episode 14, then can I at least get like 5 likes? Only 5 likes, that's what I'm asking for. And I will continue the Student Transfer's journey. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!